Alright, so I've been thinking about it. We really lost, haven't we? Thank you to our $5 patrons, Redwolf, 4765, Midnight Gem Lord, and Sean. And a very big thank you to our $25 patron, Alex Ice Rose. Now, we're on this breakdown / discussion on how Maguna may have just won. Please remember to leave your own thoughts on Maguna and how he may have won in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, use that notification to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also do a Patreon below, explore Rizzo as one, count them one, down with latest videos, early content, and more. Also now become a member of the channel for as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? All Pencil here, and yeah. So, I think I was low-key in denial when I sat down and recorded the chapter 216 review. But then the officials came out, and of course I looked at them again, and I really realized, we may have lost. We may have 100% honestly lost unless they can get Gojo out that box. Because, he didn't low diff Ryu. He didn't mid diff Ryu. He didn't high diff. He negative diffed him. Sukuna was laughing in his face as he proceeded to turn his face into 3 faces. Y'all, we may have just lost. We see, notably, he hasn't shown anything yet. He still has the rest of the 10 Shadows technique, right? That all is still in his bag. We have not even seen all of the 10 Shadows technique. I believe there are 3 Shikigami that Megumi hasn't even shown yet. And that's not including Maharaga. I'm talking about 3 Shikigami that he hasn't even attempted to spawn or master or anything like that. So he still has 3 of those he can just randomly summon. And knowing Sukuna, he probably knows about them. So he may just be waiting to summon them. He obviously still has Cleave in Dismantle. The same Cleave in Dismantle that turned Ryu into a Cleave to Dismantle, Golly G. Willikers, fellas, that boy gone. And obviously, he's still one of 2 people in the entire series to have a transcendent, godlike domain, which does not require a barrier. He still has wholehearted access to that. He has flame techniques stronger than the literal embodiment of the fear of volcanoes and fire. He just also has that in his bag, cooking. He very likely has other techniques he has not shown yet, based on the fact that he kind of just pulled out flame out of nowhere, so he still has those. And he also has physicals that, when being suppressed by Megumi, are still able to play a casual game of patty cake with, Yuji Itadori, an amped Yuji Itadori, seemingly enough, and, the ghost of the Zenin, Maki Zenin, who, is the equivalent to Toji Fushiguro, a guy considered nigh on unrivaled in terms of physical stats. And also, he just one-shot Ryu Ishigori, the guy with the highest cursed energy output in all of recorded history, which for all intents and purposes should include 20-Finger Sukuna, since 20-Finger Sukuna does predate Ryu, but that didn't matter, because Sukuna negative diffed him. Yo, we gotta realize, the 3. There are 3 people that I'm seeing discussion around now, of people who are gonna have to pull up on Maguna and really give him that work, or something, or stall to give him that work, or something outside of Gojo Satoru himself. And number 1 is obviously the man who's been looking for this fight for the past 400 years, Kashimo Hajime. And I don't know, dog. It really depends. If you think that Kashimo is just as durable as Ryu, then he gets one shot. Legitimately, he gets one shot. Once again, highest output in cursed energy, history, one shot. No tiffed, one tapped. And admittedly, Sukuna said, oh, wow, I underestimated you, fella. Let me just do this. But, unless Kashimo and his cursed technique multiply him by 1,000 times, I have no idea how he's going to even eat one cleave. One dismantle. We can't even hope that Megumi's going to fight back for him, because he doesn't know Kashimo from a can of paint. So, Kashimo may just get done in. I don't think he's going to be landing enough hits on Sukuna to stir up a lightning bolt. Legitimately. And I don't know, the way Sukuna was schmooving against Ryu, he may be able to dodge the darn lightning bolt. I know it's undodgeable, but still, I kind of don't know. Then we have Hakari, Hakari, because we're going to need a car to carry the rest of his dead body the moment he gets cut up, because I know it's stated in the Japanese, I forget, I believe it's in the original translation of, no, not the original translation, in the Japanese version of the manga, in the moment when he opens domain against Kashimo, it stated that his domain is really, really good against other domains. Like, it's due to the nature of it. It's very hard to beat, and it will always have an advantage in a tug of war. But Sukuna doesn't need a tug of war. He does not need it. He just opens domain, and Hikari, as he's trying to hit the button to, get a spin, he gets spun to, the ceasing of existence. He literally gets turned into stew. Like, straight up chopped up, like fine diced meat, like on the ground. Like, bro's done. And that's if we assume that Sukuna even needs to open domain. If Hikari doesn't pull up in jackpot, then he's getting jack shot. And that's it. That's a GG. And if he does pull up in jackpot, I think Sukuna of all characters knows to go for the head. So he's probably just going to be like, cleave, and then bada bing, bada boom. Hikari's whole neck is, separated from the rest of his body, and then Hikari's done. Unless he can regenerate from just his head. And even then, Sukuna just, trisects that like he does Ryu. Like, can Hikari even come back from that? If Sukuna hits Hikari with the exact same thing, even if jackpot, that he did to Ryu, can Hikari even come back from that? I don't think so. I think he's just done. Like, I don't think his brain will be able to do that. Unless he has to, as he did against Kashimo, heal as he breaks. Like, as he feels the cleave going through him, he has to be healing at the same time. And once Maguna realizes that that's the case, that Hikari can regen from even that, he's just dropping Maharaga on his head. And then what's Hikari supposed to do? Punch it to death? He's not beating Maharaga. Hikari has, the worst matchup of all, nigh on the worst matchup in the entire verse up against Maharaga. Because I don't think he's strong enough to one-shot it with one of his punches, and then it'll just adapt to his punches, and then he's done. We know he can't release RCT. He can only utilize it on himself. So he's done, son. That's a GG. So Hikari just has no win con. And we have the main man himself, Yuta Okotsu. And, need I remind you, no matter how generous I am to Yuta, he had I'll be generous. I'll say a low to mid diff fight against Ryu. Because, Yuta had been running the gauntlet. He had 35 points by the time he showed up on Ryu, Uro, and Kuroshi's radar. He had finished off the roof. So, maybe he was a little bit tired, a little bit sweepy. Maybe he just didn't have all his juice on him. Sure, he had Rika out, which, topped off his cursed energy, which should have given him full stamina again. But still, regardless, when he finally got to the 1v1 with Ryu, he was getting overpowered and outboxed because Ryu's cursed energy output was the highest in history, and it was blowing Yuta up to the point where Yuta was like, wow, even I'm going to take damage if this guy keeps hitting me like this. But still, let's do that. He didn't speed blitz and one-shot Ryu. He didn't blitz Ryu so badly that Ryu couldn't land a single hit on him. He and Ryu were trading blows evenly. And I'm sorry, call me wrong for this, but I just don't believe that if Yuta could have no-diffed Ryu, he wouldn't have. Legitimately, if he could have just absolutely body-bagged, one-shot, one-tap, GG'd him, I'm pretty sure Yuta would have one-shot, body-bagged, GG'd him, and Uro to just get their points. There's no reason for him to have a long, drag-out battle if he could have just one-tapped them while keeping them alive. We've seen him do that to other people. When Yuta has a no-diff fight, a negative diff fight, he literally pulled up on Choso and tapped his dome piece, and Choso was gone. When Yuta's strong enough to do something like that, he can and he will. We have seen Yuta without slaying intent pull up on somebody and instantly subdue them when he doesn't view them as a threat. Ryu and Uro were threats. He had to pull out Rika. He had to struggle a little bit. He had at bare minimum. I think Sendai was high diff for Yuta. Bro was rolling up, losing countless limbs, needed RCT out the wazoo, had to steal techniques on the fly. Bro was struggling a little bit, but let's just be generous and say it was a mid-diff scenario. Sukuna, off his one interaction with Ryu, off this singular interaction, if put in Yuta's same position in Sendai, would have casually, easily mollywopped it. Say hypothetically he needs them alive, he just chops off their legs. Yuta was not doing that. Blade or no blade. Bro was not about that. So even Yuta Okotsu, second only to Satoru Gojo in unusual abilities or power. That's another common translation thing that's always up in the air, whether or not it's raw stats and or just unusual abilities. Either one makes sense. But with that being the case, what is Yuta supposed to do other than get one shot? If he's out here thinking, oh no, I'm going to take damage from Ryu, what's he going to do with this cleave up against his dome piece? Is Rika going to be able to survive that? We know Sukuna can release RCT. He gonna take one look at Rika and backhand that woman out of existence, because he'll just hit her with an RCT backhand, and then she's done. Like, I legit don't know. Those are the three strongest characters that we know of now. We've already seen Maki pull up, and Maki pulled up on a hindered Sukuna. So, an unhindered Sukuna, unless she sneaks him, like, Maki is the only one who I feel like could come out the clutch and maybe just sneak Sukuna. Like, if she sneaks them with Soul Liberation, like, Itadori's like, yo, I'm sorry, I didn't want to do this to Megami, but Maki, I need you to use that blade on him or something like that, please. Like, straight up, she needs to just pull up on him. Maybe Maki can get something, because she'll just negate durability, head straight for his dome piece, and then he's done. But outside of that, I don't really know. And maybe Angel, if Angel has RCT and gets back up and, you know, hits him with Jacob's Ladder again and really starts burning him up. Sure, Megami's not going to be able to come back from that. I'm not sure Hana has the willpower to even do that. But, like, that's the only other one. And, like, I was leaning towards the Great Jujutsu Jump. I made a whole video talking about how I would love to see that. But now I don't know if it's possible. Like, I still want to see it, but I don't know if it's possible. Because once again, Sukuna could just open domain. Like, say he actually starts to get seriously pressed somehow, which is very hard to believe. I don't know. I feel like, once again, just him one-shotting Ryu like that, him negative diffing Ryu like that, a character who, in my opinion, was one of the strongest we've ever seen. Like, only contested by, ironically enough, Sukuna, Yuta, Gojo, stuff like that. He came out and no-diffed them. So, like, I don't know. I'd be kind of blown away if Kashimo could come out and do anything in 1v1. Then again, he has the magical, mystical, probably Binding Vow amped curse technique, so I could see Kashimo pulling something out, even with my skepticism around him. But he need to pull it out quick. He need to pull it out round start. He couldn't play games. Ryu was trying to play games. He tried to punch Sukuna first. Nah, he should have opened up with a Granite Blast. Please, Ryu. So hopefully Kashimo doesn't play games. Sakari, I just think it's a bad matchup. I think he literally just has the worst matchup against Sukuna, someone who would understand RCT probably better than anyone else in the entire verse, just because of how old and experienced he is. The only person who I expect to understand RCT better than Sukuna is Kenjaku, because Kenjaku understands everything better than everybody, because he's Kenjaku. But that's the only one, so I could see him definitely figuring out, okay, let me just blow your dome piece up real quick, and bada bing, bada boom, Akari's done. The only, and this is for my Yuta fans out there, which is myself included, the only way I could hypothetically copium believe that Yuta stands a chance now, after seeing Yuta's strongest opponent get no diff like that by Sukuna, is if he eats Rika. Like straight up, he just eats her. So he has unlimited Rika time, unlimited access to his curse technique, and unlimited amounts of curse energy. Like true, proper, boundless curse energy, to the point where Sukuna would actually struggle to cleave through him. Like, his durability is just that high to the point where, okay, Sukuna actually needs to try and, like, figure out how to hack some out, versus just, like, hitting them really, really hard with cleave or dismantle. That's the only way I can see it. Because right now, a current 5-minute time limit, Yuta isn't doing anything. I don't think his domain is barrierless. We know he has a barrier domain, too, so he couldn't do anything against Malevolent Shrine. We know, sure, maybe Yuta could beat Maharaga, but that's going to be very hard to do. He's going to have to hit him with a Rika Blast. We got to hope that Rika Blast is stronger than the Flame Arrow that Maharaga hit him with, or Maharaga may just eat that. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Nom, nom, nom. Like, legitimately, Brody is just in a rough spot. Just in a really rough spot. And Yuta alone right now with the 5-minute time limit. And Sukuna's kind of just appearing at the peak of the verse. Like, I really think the only solution we have right now is, as Sukuna's fighting or taking care of Yorozu to try and really get Megami up out of here, they get Angel, and Angel opens up the back of the prison room. And that's it, and Gojo pops out. I really only have faith in Gojo right now, because he is the strongest sorcerer. He is the cheat code. He is the one person who may be able to ignore Cleave and Dismantle because of Infinity, and may be able to do something fancy with Infinite Void, may be able to evolve on the spot or something like that to really take care of. And then again, I'm not exactly sure if, because I don't think Sukuna's domain actually shuts down other techniques, because it lacks the barrier. So Gojo's really the only guy I could see with the matchup, and or like Yuta pulls out like a really like bootleg version of the Limitless and uses Infinity himself, something like that. Other than that, I think Sukuna kind of kind of just dog walks the verse. However, that's what I think. Please, what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It makes it a little bit case to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a page down below. It's probably as low as $1 a month. Those videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Alex the Pencil, writing off.